This is Brock Emery with Landmark Implement. Today we're going to cover the Gen 4 sprayer with the GS3 monitor. As this is a simulator, some features and functions aren't going to work exactly like your sprayer, but this will definitely give us a guide of our main sprayer setup pages. If we look in our top left-hand corner of the monitor, it does say sprayer setup. If I go from top to bottom, our F tab, our main sprayer page. Our arrow with the dot is our setup page, main sprayer setup. We drop down to our calibrations, totals, and diagnostics. We're going to spend most of our time on the main sprayer page. All right, let's start with our arrow with the dot, our G tab, spray setup. Just to get familiar with, look at what some of these buttons do. Our first are our alarm buttons, our flow rate, section off alarm, and low tank alarm. With our low tank alarm, we can put in whatever we want. So I'll put in 150 gallons. This will tell my monitor when we get down to 150 gallons to give me an alarm. I would highly encourage you to always have your section off alarm on. Our next option is our tank volume level. We can hit some presets in here. So let's change this to 850 gallons. If I go to load, I can hit here. It raises my tank volume to that level. We have a Nozzle Calculator. Nozzle Calculator is great for helping with tip selections. We'll put in our application rate, 15 gallons an acre. We have a nozzle spacing of 15 inches. Nozzle pressure is determined by the label, right, on your droplet size. I'm just going to leave it at 40 for now. We have an application speed, and for here our example, we're using 14 to 17 miles per hour. Based upon these parameters that I put in here, it gives me my best matches on nozzle sides. It's also going to tell me my low pressure and my high pressure based upon my speeds. And the last thing, it's going to tell me my total boom flow in gallon per minute. Our gallon per minute boom flow is important for determining where our valves on the side or the back of the machine need to be set. Our top right hand option is our agitation level of low, medium, or high. If your machine is equipped with foam markers, this is where we would adjust our settings. Our eductor level of low, medium, or high. Our target fill doesn't work on this simulator, but our target fill, if we were going to use the sprayer to pull on from our nurse tank with target fill, we could tell the machine to pull on 500 gallons or 600 gallons or whatever it is that we wanted. The machine would then pull on that and automatically stop when it hit that goal. Dropping down, we have our boom pressure relief. If that is checked and our solution pump is off, when we hit our main master spray button, it will open the check valve and help relieve the pressure trapped in the boom. Moving over to the right, we have our high flow rate on or off. Basically, anytime we're above 120 gallon per minute flow, we're going to be in high flow rate. That's going to be typically your north of 50 gallon per acre rates based upon your speeds. The rest of the time, we're going to be in a regular flow rate, which is off. That would be most of our herbicide applications would be off. When we select high flow, again, north of 120 gallon per minute flow, when we select high flow, that tells the machine to read the second flow meter. We also have to remember to actually physically adjust the valve. Boom charge off, manual, and auto. For most all of our herbicide or fungicide applications, we're going to be in boom charge auto. Our orifice valve, that is the low flow valve, or our orifice valve, is the terminology that you use. We need to make sure that we're open or closed. We tell the monitor if it's open. If it's open, it's above 26 gallon per minute flow. If it's closed, it means it's below 26 gallon per minute flow. If you remember our nozzle calculator, we were at 46 gallon per minute, which means our orifice valve, we would open it. Our spray system min-max. Our spray system min-max is how responsive spray system, meaning the solution pump, is to our hydro handle. So as we speed up, how quickly does the solution pump respond? You would typically run this in a setting of 3, which is right in the middle of a 1 to 5. Minimum spray pressure. how low our pressure will drop and maintain a spray pattern. We need at least 12 gallons of pressure to keep the check valve open, so we'll always be above 12. Typically, we send it to you out of the shop at 15 gallon. So again, at low speeds, we start to drop pressure, and this keeps our boom from shutting off. Our spray off pressure is, if we think about this, our solution pump is on, which means we're making pressure. Our spray, our master spray, is off. So there is our spray off pressure. So that's the pressure being created to keep any other systems going, such as agitation. And it's also, I like to think of spray off pressure as spray on demand. If we look here in the top center, we have boom set up. I've always been telling everyone, I do highly recommend that we take a picture of this page. We have vehicle setup. This is where we would clear our service interval hours. Our rate control and display speed, we have options of wheel. If we're equipped with a radar, we would have radar or GPS. We would typically run this always in GPS. So that is our main G-tab sprayer setup options. If I go back to my main, if I look over here, I have something that looks like an old pitchfork. This is our auto prime system. This is what us operators would refer to as charging our booms when we change chemicals. As you can see, all boom sections will be automatically turned on and off during the priming process. I'm going to put in a simulated test speed, how fast I'm going to, in theory, run through the field, and then I can choose a volume setting of 1 through 5. Typically for a 120-foot boom, I'm going to use a volume setting of 3, which will typically use 26 to 27 gallons of product. As a reminder, we're charging our boom or auto system priming our boom to make sure that we have chemical going across all of the nozzles before we hit the field. If I'm set up, it tends to turn on my solution pump and hit my master spray, and your boom will actually be spraying. The product will go to the center L1 and R1 first, so those will be the first sections that will automatically shut off. It'll then work through and continue to run as it shuts down R2, R3, R4, and L4, etc., until it ends at our tips. At that point, we've automatically primed or charged our boom, depending on your terminology. Dropping down, we have our rinse solution command system. We have two options, our boom only rinse or our full solution system. I would recommend the boom only rinse at the end of the day. We run fresh water directly from our freshwater tank to our boom and out our nozzles. This helps get rid of a lot of the buildup that we have on our nozzle body. When we switch products, for instance, when we're switching from corn or from bean ground to corn ground or etc., this is where we're going to do our full solution system rinse. We can choose to do a single, double, or triple rinse. We can choose a volume setting of low, medium, or high. I personally will typically do a high volume setting. And when we hit start, it'll start with rinsing the adductor system. As a reminder, you do need to be on the side of the machine if you actually want to rinse your adductor at that point. Then it'll work through our agitation, our rinse bypass, it will rinse our solution system, and it will stop right where it says rinse water, spray rinse water. And that's where you need to physically and manually go spray off your rinse water. So again, that is how we run our solution tank rinses. Dropping down, we have our D tab, which is our boom height control. This is where we can increase our raise response or lower it. We can adjust our target heights of our boom. So let's say I want to run that at 50 inches on my left, etc. 50 inches on my right. Our sprayer totals, we've got an area counter that we can reset. And our diagnostics. Engine and hydraulics. This is where we would find out engine readings, temperatures, things like that. It's also where we would find our engine hours. I can run a test. A very good test to run is our nozzle flow check to ensure that we can hit the rates and the pressures that we need for our spray applications. Our last one we'll look at is our air purge. If you're equipped with air purge, this is where we would turn on our air purge and blow forced air through our nozzle bodies. As a reminder, we're running a 1/4 inch air line through 2-inch boom plumbing. So I would highly recommend that you turn off all the sections except for the one that you're blowing the nozzles out. It will help boost your amount of pressure that you're working with. If you run out of time, you can always just hit go again and start the process over. So we have covered the 4 Series GS3 sprayer SprayStar page. Thank you.